What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Project Positive Health. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am Steph and I am a intermittent and alternate day faster. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and also hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video, which will be on a Monday and a Friday. In this video, I am going to be showing and telling you how I lost 32 pounds in just under 6 months and how I have managed to keep that weight off. So where should I start? I'm going to start from the beginning. So I started my weight loss journey. Some of you will already know from my very first video. I started my weight loss journey. I weighed 10 stone 4, which is about 144 pounds. This is what I looked like. I can't believe I'm even posting a picture like this. This literally needs to be burned. So this is me at 10 stone 4, which is 144 pounds. This is not a good look. Like this is just not me at all. I was super uncomfortable. I felt really big. Now I have a lot of people say to me, 10 stone 4 is not very big. That was big for me. That was absolutely massive. Never in my whole entire life, well, apart from being pregnant and carrying kids in me, I've never been over 10 stone. So for me to be 10 stone 4, like 144 pounds, that was ridiculous. That was a lot for me. That in my head, that was me being obese, which essentially was, because I think my body fat percentage was like 31 or 32% or something like that. So essentially I was obese, which is not good. It's not healthy, is it? When I took that pic, that was when I decided that I was going to do something about my weight. I didn't want to get older and not be able to do stuff with my kids. Like, I've always been a very active person and I kind of wanted to still be doing that. So I decided I was going to get rid of that weight. One of the first things that I did was, now bearing in mind, I'm not telling you to go out and do what I'm doing. I am not a doctor, I am not a dietitian, I am not a nutritionist. I'm just telling you what I did. And to be honest, some of the stuff that I did, I wouldn't recommend for anyone to go and do it. I'm just telling you what I did and how I went about it, and you know, you guys can do what you want to do. That's fine. I'm just going to tell you how I did it. So one of the first things I did when I decided to lose weight was work out like a maniac and cut my calories right down. So I didn't even count my calories to see what it is I was actually consuming, how much calories I was actually eating. I didn't bother doing that. I literally just went straight in and cut my calories. And at the beginning, I think at one point, so this is probably about a month into me deciding what I was going to do, I decided I was just going to cut my calories right down to 1,000 calories. 1,000 calories is ridiculous. It is beyond a joke. Like, don't do that ever, okay? So yeah, I cut my calories down to 1,000 calories. I was doing a lot of high intensity interval training, and I was doing it on a regular basis, at least 4 times a week. I would say I was doing that. So I've cut my calories right down. I'm doing absolutely mad cardio, and I think in the first 3 months of me doing my little weight loss thing, I probably only lost a few pounds. I didn't lose a lot at all. Bearing in mind actually how much I was working out, I expected my weight loss to be greater. I expected to lose a lot more than what I did, but I didn't. It was a really slow and painful process, which is why I wouldn't recommend anyone doing what I did, because it was just like I went from one end to the other just literally eating whatever I wanted to do, to literally cutting my calories right down to 1,000 calories a day, and exercising like an absolute maniac. That is not a healthy way to go about losing weight. So I decided I was going to look into doing intermittent fasting. I started off doing a 16-8 first of all, and I wasn't really seeing much result again. I was still working out, and my calories were still pretty low, I think, at this point. So I then moved up to an 18-6 protocol, and then after that I did a 20-hour fasting window and a 4-hour eating window, and then I did OMAD for a little while after that. And I did see results. I did start dropping weight a lot more faster, like more of what I would kind of expected to do. So I kind of calmed down on doing cardio, and I just concentrated on doing cardio maybe 2 or 3 times a week and doing my OMAD essentially. I also increased my calories a little bit, so it wasn't 1,000 calories I was doing. I think I was probably doing between 1,200 and 1,300. So, and I was still losing weight, so, and at a faster rate than what I was when I was doing 1,000 calories. Yeah, 1,000 calories is not healthy. Don't ever do that. So then I decided that I was going to do a 24-hour fast and then 36-hour fast, and I just ended up doing alternate day fasting. I began throwing in some longer extended fasts, like 72 hours, doing them not a couple of times a week, couple of times a month. And the weight literally just dropped off me. So I then reduced my cardio to only once a week, and I incorporated weight training, which I was doing every other day. And that got me, doing that on a regular basis, that got me down to 8 stone, which is about 112 pounds. So when I started doing intermittent fasting, what I did first was I got onto the internet and I googled like TDEE calculators. So that is your total daily energy expenditure. There's loads of calculators out there. So the best thing I would recommend, not that I'm telling you to do, if you're going to do intermittent fasting, I would highly recommend getting on the internet and searching for a TDEE calculator and inputting all your details, because it tells you how many calories you need to eat to be at your basal metabolic rate, how many calories you need to maintain, how many calories you need to cut, how many calories you need to bulk. So I would recommend doing that. So then you can kind of eat between your TDEE and your BMR, which I think is a nice safe bet. So I worked mine out and I began eating between 1,300 and 1,500. So some days you eat more, some days you eat less. It all depends, obviously, with ADF. I only got a short window now as well. So on my eat days, I only have a 6-hour window to eat. So yeah, sometimes I fit in all my calories, sometimes I don't. That's just how it is. Sometimes I go over, sometimes I'm under. That's how it is. So I would highly recommend working out what your TDE is and your BMR. So in that way you can eat between the two numbers, because it's going to vary with everyone. Like I can't tell you what my numbers are and then you go and do that, because it all depends on how active you are. It depends on your age. It depends on your weight at the moment. There's just so many factors you need to take into consideration. So for you personally, I would always just go and work it out, because it's going to be different for everyone. You can't, what works for one person isn't going to work for another. So, yeah, so I worked out my TDEE and my BMR. Those are the two numbers that I tend to eat between on my eat days, basically. And that is how I've managed to kind of maintain my weight loss, even in lockdown. So when lockdown started, I put on, it was about a stone. Was that 13 pounds or something like that? Yeah. So that's how much I put on anyway, which is not too bad. As long as it's not flipping £144, that's good for me. It's not a secret really, it's just a few tips that I had for losing weight. So my tip number 1 for losing weight would be to remain consistent, because the scale's going to go up some days, it's going to go down some days. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to what is written on the scales. I would just remain consistent. So that is my tip number 1. Tip number 2 would be, if you're just starting out doing intermittent fasting or any kind of restrictive diet, anything like that, I would always recommend you work out how many calories you're eating anyway at the moment. So before you cut anything out, just download MyFitnessPal. Just input everything you're eating, because you would be surprised with like how many calories are actually in one portion size, or you know, if you're snacking little bits, how those calories add up over the day or over the week or over the month. So track everything. So to begin with, download MyFitnessPal and literally track every single morsel that you put into your mouth. Yeah, so do that for a week straight, so then you know exactly how many calories you are consuming without even cutting anything out. So you know exactly what level you need to come down from, if that makes sense. So once you've worked out how many calories you're eating, bearing in mind, I think I was eating way more than 2,000 calories. I was eating a lot more. But anyway, I digress. So I would, track everything you're eating first of all, without making any changes to your diet. Just track absolutely everything. And then once you've done that, work out what your TDEE is, and then you can go and work out your basal metabolic rate from that, and then eat between those two numbers. So then you kind of know where you're at and where you kind of need to come down to. Yeah. And then tip number 3, make sure you work out. Even if it is just a little bit, especially if you're doing fasting, definitely do some weights, because it really does help to maintain your muscles. You just feel better, you feel stronger, to be honest with you. So I would definitely incorporate some weights and some cardio, actually, because cardio is good for your overall health. You know, it helps with your breathing, your diaphragm, obviously all your cardiovascular bits and pieces. It helps with all of that. So it just helps to kind of maintain your body overall. So even if you're just doing it once a week, that's fine. Exercise is hugely important. And not only that, it helps you mentally as well, like with all the endorphins and... Is it endorphins? I think it's endorphins. But anyway, it's feel-good hormones, and it makes you feel good whilst you're working out. And once you've done it as well, you feel good, like you've achieved something. So yes, tip number 3, I would highly recommend doing some exercise and incorporating some weight training into your weight loss schedule, plan. You know what I'm talking about. And tip number 4 would be fasting. Like, for me personally, I'm not telling you to go out and fast. That's completely down to you. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I am not a nutritionist, I am not telling you what to go and do, I'm just saying what worked for me. But tip number 4 is fasting, and fasting was like, for me, literally that got the ball rolling. And I do love fasting, I can't even lie. Obviously I'm started a whole channel about intermittent fasting and alternate day fasting, so I think it's pretty self-explanatory that I do enjoy fasting. With fasting, obviously it just allows you to eat at certain times, so it's not telling you at all what you should be eating. Like, it doesn't say you can't have that and you can't have that and you can't do this and blah 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 blah. It is just literally saying you are going to fast for 16 hours and then you will have an 8-hour window to eat. And there's so many different protocols. I've said this before, I know I have, but there's so many different protocols that allow you to fit fasting around you and your lifestyle and not around food. So does that make sense? So like, if you want to go and have a burger, go and have your bloody burger. As long as it's in your eating window, it's fine. Knock yourself out. But saying that, what I've learned recently, obviously I've been fasting a long time, so I have had quite a long time to kind of figure out, for me, what works and what doesn't with fasting. I know 16-8 protocol did not work for me, because in my 8-hour window, that's still a large window for me to eat sweets and chocolate, which I'm not going to cut out because I do like. So, and I don't want to be miserable. You've only got one life at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to be miserable. I want to be able to still enjoy myself. So yeah, 8 hours was too much of a big window, as was 6 hours as well. 4 hours was more doable to try and eat all my calories in. But what works for me is ADF at the end of the day, and that is like my sweet spot. I love doing ADF. I don't think I could go back to like eating every single day, all day, every single day. So that's definitely a no-no for me. So, my lovelies, that is how I lost 32 pounds in 6 months. So some of you might think 6 months is still a relatively long time to lose weight, but actually it's not really. I don't know how people lose that kind of weight in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or even 2 months, because it's just such a dramatic loss. I don't know how people do it in such a short space of time and actually manage to keep it off. I think 6 months is doable, to be honest with you. So all this stuff when I see on YouTube and all this kind of thing, like, you know, I lost £1 million in a day. Like, I don't believe that. Personally, I don't believe that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but from my journey, I weren't losing nothing in a week. And I was working out hardcore, like proper hardcore working out. So I don't know how these lot lose so much pounds in the space of a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever it is. But I know for me to lose 32 pounds, it took me just under 6 months. By no means is it easy in any way, shape or form. There is no quick fix. It takes hard work and dedication. Yeah, and try and incorporate some weight training if you can. It's not like you have to go in and, you know, lift, I don't know, 10 kgs. Do 1 kg if you need to. Like, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't make any difference as long as obviously you're using those muscles and building those muscles and maintaining those muscles. That's the most important thing. So yeah, weight loss isn't something that happens overnight. There's definitely no quick fix for it. You're not going to get on the scales and be one weight and then you're just going to see it continuously drop like that. That doesn't work. Weight loss for me was like, that's how mine went. That's how mine still goes. But at the end of the day, it's something you have to work on over a long period of time. In my case, probably forever, to be honest with you, because some days I want to eat and I want to eat whatever I want to eat. So it's just one of those things. But I'm rambling now, aren't I? But I just wanted to share with you guys how I lost 32 pounds. Like I said before, I'm not telling you to go out and do it. I just wanted to do a little video just to kind of show you guys how I managed to lose 32 pounds in 6 months. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comment section. If you do like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, especially if you want to kind of learn more about intermittent and alternate day fasting, or if you're interested in following me on my little intermittent and alternate day fasting weight loss journey If you're interested in my little fasting vlogs, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification also to be notified when I post a new video, which will be on a Monday and a Friday. That being said, I am going to love you guys and leave you, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye.